Welcome back to episode 3 of the Giggy and Joe Show.
I'm Joe.
I'm Max. It's good
That's
to be back on the pod. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Got a lot of heat for my quarterback list from last episode, so I got to explain myself a little bit more for that one.
Like who specifically? Who on the quarterback list did you get criticized for?
I got criticized for my buddy's a Patriots fan, right? And he was upset that I had Matthew Stafford over Tom Brady for last year's production, 2021-2022 quarterback production.
I disagree, but we'll see.
The list that we made last episode was strictly for last season quarterback production. Tom Brady went over 5,000 yards, had over 30 touchdown passes, but Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl, so that's why I had to put them over Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers because Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl last year.
I'd have to take a look at your quarterback list from last time because I kind of forgot the top 5 exactly.
Yeah.
But I think Tom Brady should definitely be over Joe Burrow, even though he made a Super Bowl. He's more skilled.
If you let me put another player up there, it would have been Tom. But we only had a certain amount of players we were able to put.
I'd put Tom in my top 5. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not all. This was strictly last year's production. But if we were doing an all-time list, he would be like number 1 on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Got that cleared up.
You had to defend yourself, so
I just had to clear up the air. I don't think we were specific enough for what the list actually was last episode.
It's all right. It's all good.
So moving on to the news today, Quinn Williams and Nick Bosa both signing their 5th-year options with their respective teams.
And what? Can I get my input on it?
Yeah, go. I was just about to ask you your input on it.
Okay. So honestly, I was pretty happy about this move. I just found out like 10 minutes ago. So Max actually told me about it. And I'm pretty happy about this move only because he's one of our core guys that we really need. And he's young. He has star potential. He almost made a Pro Bowl, I think either last year or I think it was last year. But he was in that conversation. If we had a better season, he would have made it actually. But I think it's a pretty good move, in my opinion. So, and it shows. Hold on. Look, sorry. And it shows that we are committed to our players instead of just drafting them and then releasing them. Basically.
Yeah, something you haven't done in the past under Mike McCagnon.
Yeah.
And Quinn Williams is one player that is a cornerstone of your defensive line. That was a very important move to keep him around for another year.
Yeah. And one thing I'm questioning of if Mekhi Becton, I think next year if they're going to pick up his option. Because
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
I doubt it.
I don't know because with his future is kind of questionable because with his injury.
Yeah.
So we don't really know, but he has star potential too. I think he has the most potential out of that team. Like I feel like he's one of the top potential stars on that team. Basically, definitely. He has a high ceiling, but he could have a really low floor.
With a body that big. And I believe he's 345, 350 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. With that,
yeah, I think so.
Especially at that position, the wear and tear of facing NFL defensive ends every day in practice, it takes a toll on your knees. And his knees are slowly starting to give out way early in this.
I know, and that's concerning. Since he is so young, he's actually 364 pounds.
Wow.
And with that injury too, he's not able to work out, and he actually just missed voluntary workouts. When players start going to the workouts basically and learn the playbook. Honestly, that's his decision. But I think if you really want to be committed to this team, I feel like you should go to the voluntary workouts. But that's just his decision.
So another New York player on the opposite side that has missed voluntary workouts, but actually came back to the facility yesterday was Kadarius Toney, who's at the center of trade rumors after a termulatus rookie year.
What does that word mean?
Like turmoil.
Okay, all right.
It was very interesting to see that he was up for trade, and it's gonna be interesting to see what the Giants do before the draft if they can get any value for him, which I don't think they will be able to.
Yeah, and I think it's really funny to see in past year's draft that the Giants actually passed on Elijah Moore to get Kadarius Toney, and that's just funny to me. And I'm really happy that we're in that situation right now. And I think if we never drafted Elijah Moore and they drafted Elijah Moore, we probably could have got Toney, and we would have been in that situation.
It seems like when Philadelphia moved up in last year's draft over the Giants with Dallas, in the move with Dallas to draft Devontae Smith, it seems like the Giants were
Scared, like kind of
Devontae
like
Smith. It seemed like they were Devontae Smith or bust.
yeah.
And when Devontae Smith left the board, they really sputtered out of control and traded back to Chicago, and they settled for Kadarius Toney. And as a GM, I don't know how you can miss that badly on a first round pick after 1 year, and you already need to trade him. Now, granted, the Giants, you have a new regime in, and rightfully so, they needed one. But I don't know how Gettleman. I just don't understand how Gettleman could miss so badly and not understand the personality of this player coming in.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And I mean, we'll see where it goes with that. I personally don't think he might get traded this season, but we'll just see what happens. The draft is a couple days. What's it, Tuesday right now? So
2 days.
2 more days.
And 2 days until all these players' dreams come true.
Yeah.
Best time of the year, in my opinion.
Best time of the year as a Jets fan, in my opinion. The offseason, along with the draft, it gives me the most hope as a Jets fan for the season. And
so,
yeah, with this whole new group of young players too, I think it's beneficial, definitely. And also with these cheap contracts too. So at least we don't have to pay that much for a position.
So speaking of contracts, Darren Waller, I don't know if you've seen this, but Darren Waller was at the subject of trade speculation, and he was going to be involved in the Devontae Adams trade. And that trade could not go through because I have it written down right here that an unsigned franchise player can have say in his destination. So an example was back in 2019, I believe, when the Dolphins were pursuing Jadeveon Clowney from the Texans. Clowney refused to trade to the Dolphins because he had not signed his franchise tender yet. And I didn't know that was a rule that a franchise player has that much say in his next destination, but that was pretty interesting to learn this morning.
Yeah, and I mean, did you think those rumors were like true? Like, did you think it was?
Yes, no, I believe
over exaggerated.
A writer from The Athletic, I forget the name, but a writer from The Athletic said that the Packers wanted Darren Waller in the 1 for Devontae Adams. And the NFL was going to veto that trade because Devontae Adams had not signed his tender yet to be traded.
Okay. So, did you think that was a good trade if that would have happened?
No.
You don't think so? What was the original trade? Because I kind of forgot what happened.
Darren Waller is a very important piece to that offense in Vegas.
I forgot the actual trade the Packers did. I think it was it first round picks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just trying to look it up. Packers got first and second round picks in the 2022 NFL draft. The Chiefs probably okay. Yeah, that's not important. But yeah. It's pretty interesting, right?
It's very interesting. Oh, hold on. I gotta.
What?
All right. Sorry about that little delay. I had to go take care of something real quick. But continuing with that Darren Waller situation, it's gonna be interesting to see how that unfolds on draft night. I don't think he will be moved. That's my prediction. I think he stays a Raider.
I think so too.
But in this offseason, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, true. Right.
So
Speaking of the draft, right?
speaking of the draft,
I think we should go into that. I think this is the good stuff. I
it's the
think.
good stuff. Aiden Hutchinson is plus 250 to be the first round, to be the first pick overall. And Joe, if you had to guess, who would be the leader on the odds to go number one?
I'm telling you, Aiden Hutchinson. That's who's gonna. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm talking about the odds.
The
So
odds.
so Aiden Hutchinson is plus 250. So that means Anthony Walker is actually favored to go number one at minus 200. That is mind blowing. Mind blowing. Minus 200 to go number one. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think it's gonna happen. First
I
of
think
all,
it's gonna happen. I think they're gonna screw it up.
no.
I don't know how you cannot take a bona fide player like Aiden Hutchinson number one overall.
Yeah, I know. Well, Aiden Hutchinson needs to be drafted, and if not, send him to the Jets. I don't care.
Send him to the Jets. He'll be a Lion before he makes it to the Jets.
I know. Well, yeah, but you got these edges like Aiden Hutchinson, Trayvon Walker, Thibodeau, Jameson. Trying to think of his name. the edge from Florida State. Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson. And you're gonna see,
Jermaine
you're gonna be
Johnson.
surprised. You're gonna be surprised how far I have him up on my mock draft board because there's some rumors that the Jets are into him at number 4.
I was debating on putting him at number 10, but I think he might go in the top 10. We'll see. But this is just what I have right now. We just created a top 10 mock draft.
Right.
So I don't know if you want to share your
screen?
screen. You want to share your screen first?
You want me to go first? All right.
Yeah, sure. I want to see your draft because I'm interested, and it might be comparable too. It might be the same, to be honest, because a lot of these are make or breaks, but because anything can happen in the draft. It's not like a clear cut thing that's going to happen, especially in the top 10. I think.
So this is my top 10.
Let's see.
Okay, so I have Trayvon Walker going number 1. I really believe that he's going to be going number 1. I really believe that the Jaguars are going to screw this up, and they're going to take Trayvon Walker over the stellar football player and Aiden Hutchinson. They're going to take a project over the stellar football player. I do not agree with it, but that's just my take.
That is a hot take, bro.
I mean, he's favored right now, and there's so much buzz about Trent Baalke and Aldon Smith and what he's seen.
Bro, that might just be smoke screening, though. You never know.
You never know. But the Jaguars don't need to smoke screen at number 1, though.
I guess, yeah, but
I feel bad for Jacksonville if this ends up that way.
I'd be pretty upset if that happened. And I think you said Anthony Walker before. That's why I got confused.
Okay, so moving on to number 2, I have Aiden Hutchinson because the Jaguars missed him.
He's clear number 1.
Clear number 1. He stays home in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Number 3, I have Ikem Ekwonu out of North Carolina State going off the tackle for the Texans to protect Davis Mills. Yeah.
Do you like him better than Evan Neal?
Yes, I like his size better. He's more meat on the bone than Evan Neal. I feel like he's more NFL ready than Evan Neal is.
But like you're talking about size, right? What about him and Mekhi Becton? Would you compare him to Mekhi Becton? Like, who would you compare him to?
I don't like draft comparisons because each player in the NFL is their own different player. You cannot you can't compare one player to another because each player has different skill sets. They're in different schemes in their respective teams. So
plus, Ekem is 40 pounds lighter than Mekhi Becton. That's just a reference that's crazy to me because he's big enough already. And Mekhi Becton is 40 pounds heavier than that and taller probably too. Evan Neal's 351. Evan Neal's bigger, actually.
He doesn't look like 351. Have you seen pictures of him at the combine?
Oh, yeah. He's actually very muscular, and he's a freak being. So
it looks like very skinny for 351.
If the Jets were to draft Evan Neal, I wouldn't be as mad. But I think there's definitely other needs that we need better than I'd say tackle is like third on my list of need, possibly.
Yeah. And you're actually looking at Ekwonu at number 4 too. But I picked Jermaine Johnson going 4 from Florida State. What do you think, Joe, about Jermaine Johnson at number 4?
Okay, so he's the guy at on that TV show Last Chance, and I think he has a really good story. But I think I'm pretty sure he moved colleges. He was at a bigger division and then moved into Florida State, which is played weaker teams. So that's can be concerning. But I think he's a very good player, and another guy that I wouldn't be as mad if we drafted him. But I think we need. I mean, I think there's better players on the board, in my opinion, come draft day that we could draft over Jermaine Johnson.
That's an option though, number 4 for them.
Definitely an
We'll see
option.
what
Yeah.
happens.
I want to be really mad about it,
So because the Jets passed on Ahmad Sauce Gardner, I've been going to the New York Giants at number
Okay.
5. Their new defensive coordinator came over from Baltimore, longtime Baltimore defensive coordinator, very well respected around the league. He loves
Yeah.
cornerbacks, and with the James Bradbury trade rumors, I feel like this is a perfect fit for Ahmad Gardner, number 5 to the Giants.
Yeah, and I actually have I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I also have the Giants taking Ahmad Gardner, but at number 7.
Who do you have at
That's why-
5? Oh, I'll wait. I'll wait.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I'm just
So-
saying. Okay.
6, I have Sam Darnold / Cam Newton's replacement, Kenny Pickett, out
Yeah.
of Pittsburgh.
I've seen. Wait, Kenny Pickett. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay, you have him over Malik Willis.
I don't have Malik Willis going top 10.
Wow. I don't know. I think.
would listen. So I was gonna make a trade with the Steelers to jump into number 7 with the Giants. The Giants trade out of 7 with the Steelers, and the Steelers grab Malik Willis. I know Mike Tomlin has had dinner with Malik Willis,
True.
and they're really looking at quarterbacks this year, and rightfully so, because I don't think you can make it through the year with Mitchell Trubisky, honestly.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Steelers will. I feel like the possibility for the Steelers to trade up with the Giants at 7. But I just have the Giants taking Evan Neal at number 7.
Yeah, and I think that's a little high for Evan Neal. I think he actually could go below 7, but I mean that's just a good draft if that happens for the Giants, in my opinion. That's
Yeah.
a pretty good draft.
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
Yeah. And I noticed you had Kayvon Thibodeau at number 8.
Yeah, I have him sliding a little bit because of his. I don't want to say. I guess it's a little bit of arrogance that I'm hearing from national reporters. A little bit of arrogance. His confidence is not for everybody, and they question if he loves football enough. So I feel like he's going to drop a little bit, and I feel like a team to watch if Kayvon does drop a little bit is the Dallas Cowboys, because everybody in the top 10, everyone in the top 5, I should say, that Ian Rappaport stated yesterday in the Pat McAfee show is looking to move back. So I feel like if Kayvon Thibodeau starts to slide from like 5, 6, 7, 8, this range where I have him going right now, I feel like a team like Dallas, where Jerry Jones loves to get risky and trade up, I feel like Kayvon Thibodeau could be a target for him as well. But I haven't gone to the Falcons at 8.
I think that's a very good pick for the Falcons if that were to happen, and I think that'd be a steal. Because I'm not gonna give any surprises on my mock draft too, but you'll just see in a second when we show mine. So pretty good pick.
So number 9, I have Seattle Seahawks trying to revamp their defense to what it was. I feel like they desperately need corners. Desperately, they already have DK Metcalf. They already have Tyler Lockett. They have Everett and Fant as tight ends, and I feel like adding another weapon. I feel like adding another weapon is not a top need for them right now, unless they trade DK. That's a completely different story. But I feel like they need a cornerback desperately, and I feel like Derek Stingley is 1B in this draft for cornerbacks.
Honestly, I think it's not 1B, but it's like Sauce Gardner's right here, and then the
Not
rest
far
of the
behind.
corners are
Yeah.
way down there. I think. I don't think it's necessary if the Jets were to draft Derek Stingley, because I don't believe in him as much as Sauce Gardner. I'd be a huge fan if we draft Sauce Gardner, by the way. And I don't know. I was thinking for the Seahawks to either draft a quarterback like Malik Willis, a corner possibly, or
That'd be
a tackle.
interesting.
Or a
That'd be
tackle.
interesting that would be very interesting to see if they go Malik Willis at number 9.
Yeah.
or any
And
quarterback for that matter.
their needs right now are a quarterback, a tackle, an edge, and a corner. So all those could be options for them.
So number 10, I have the Jets getting a weapon for Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson. Wilson or
Okay.
Wilson on Sundays, Joe? What do you think?
Okay. With my opinion, I think the Jets are gonna trade the 10th pick to the Saints. And I'm pretty sure the Saints have they have number 16 and number 19. And with that, I think they're gonna draft either Linderbaum or like another wide receiver, because honestly, taking a wide receiver number 10 is kind of a reach for the Jets. And we have pretty good wide receivers already with Elijah Moore. We got Corey Davis, we got Braxton Barris, we just re-signed. We have decent talent at the wide receiver position. Adding another premier wide receiver definitely could help with Elijah Moore. And we'll just see what the draft happens. And I wouldn't be mad because I'm going to trust in Joe Douglas.
Maybe a Deebo Samuel. Trade the 10th pick for Deebo Samuel.
That's the number one thing that I want. First of all, I think if we trade the 10th pick, I think it's a pretty decent trade for us. And it's a little high for because we also have to pay the man. We're trading a premier pick, but I think it'll be worth it at the end of the day. And if we're drafting a wide receiver already, why not trade for a proven guy,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's gonna be very interesting. I feel like the rumor was that Deebo would be traded between Sunday and Thursday. It's now Tuesday and there's still no Deebo trade.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Deebo Samuel. The Jets are favored right now to grab him.
Mm-hmm. Or the Packers.
There was a report today that teams are getting the vibe that the 49ers are unlikely to trade Deebo, that they don't want to trade Deebo, but it might take first-round picks to get Deebo. So you never know. A team could offer up 2 first-round picks.
I don't think it's really off the table. I just think they want more picks, basically. Like give us the best offer you got, and we may or may not take it, depending on how good the trade is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to share your mock draft right now?
Yeah. Let me do that real quick.
So I'm very, very curious to see who you got going number 1 right now.
Okay, hold on.
I'm very curious. It's Hutchinson, isn't it?
Yeah, let me put full screen here.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, you have Trayvon Walker going too, huh?
Yeah, hold on. Okay, let me explain everything. Aiden Hutchinson, number 1. I think that's obvious, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Trayvon Walker. I mean, I still think he's a pretty good player, but I don't think he's number 1. Mm-hmm. I think he's the second tier. And then number 3, Ikemi Konwu. I think if they don't get Ikemi Konwu, I think they're going to get Evan Neal. But still, as you look in the needs, they need every position. So I think they should just take the best guy in the draft for them.
Every position. I love how they have that
every position right here. Yeah. And then number 4, my Jets taking Kayvon Thibodeau. And I've seen rumors like you said before how his passion for football may not be the best, but I think he's one of the most athletic. He'll get to the quarterback, and that's what we need. That's our culture: getting to the quarterback, being aggressive, everything. Number 5, Evan Neal, and I think I was debating on either taking Ahmad Gardner with the number 5th pick, but as you can see at number 7, I took him at number 7. So I think your draft had Ahmad Gardner at number 5 and Evan Neal at 7, right? Mm-hmm. So we had that switched around. And that'd be a pretty good draft for the Giants. Number 6, I have Malik Willis, which I think he's better than Kenny Pickett. I mean, I've seen comparisons to Malik Willis to like Jalen Hurts, but I don't know. Hopefully he'll turn out to be a good quarterback. I'm rooting for the Panthers. I mean, I like them only because what?
So I put Kenny Pickett at 6 to the Panthers because Matt Rule has a connection to Kenny Pickett.
Okay. I think Malik Willis is the better quarterback, though.
I agree, but I just think I just think Matt Rule and the Panthers would end up going with the guy that they know over Malik Willis. You know, that's why I have
Would
number
you take
6.
a person who's less skilled but has a better connection, or would you take someone who's more skilled and you can build that connection?
More skilled, you can build the connection.
Yeah, so that's why I took him.
Okay.
For number 8, honest, like I didn't really know who the Falcons were gonna draft. Obviously, they need a quarterback. Because they have Marcus Mariota, but I think they could definitely draft a quarterback and possibly be under Marcus Mariota's wing and learn from him for like the first season or so. And I have them taking Garrett Wilson because I looked at multiple mock drafts and they had him taking quarterbacks, wide receivers, etc. Obviously, they don't in the needs, they don't really need it, but I think they do need it. Garrett Wilson's a pretty talented receiver, and I've seen comparisons to Odell Beckham Jr. So that's
again the comparisons really bug me. They really bug me because every player to me is his own player.
Well, I'm gonna use the comparisons because they have the same play style, so
yeah,
and they have the same build. Okay, number 9. I was either thinking Pickett or Charles Cross, and I ended up taking Charles Cross. That they need linemen. That I mean, the Seahawks have a pretty bad team right now, and they're probably rebuilding at this point, right? They're not competing for playoffs, and yeah. So I think they just recently got that 9th pick, right? Because they traded it for Russell Wilson.
Right.
So,
Us from Denver.
Yeah, so they're in a complete rebuild right now, and they need star players that can be the anchor for the team.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like this pick at number 10 that you have.
Yeah, Jameson Williams. That's my favorite wide receiver of the draft. Number 2 would be Garrett Wilson, but I think Jameson Williams has the most potential out of I think either almost any pick in this draft and wide receiver. I think that he's the number 1 wide receiver and one of the top 5 in the draft, I think.
I agree with you. Hope and ACL nowadays is easier to come back from, as we talked about in the past episodes.
Yeah.
It's not a career ender anymore, and it was a clean sense of the ACL for Jameson Williams, so he could be back healthy for week 1.
And he also injured it a little while ago too, right? He injured it in the championship game, right?
National championship, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a little while ago, so he actually has a little bit more time to recover and get back on the field. So
actually, was it the national championship or the
I think it was the national championship because I was
I think so too. I was
at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we bet on Jameson Williams' yards. And as you remember, I think he had a pretty good game too in the first half or so.
Yeah.
And then he got injured, so I think it was a parlay too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
What was the other piece? What were the other legs of the parlay that they needed to hit?
I forgot. I think it was the quarterback for Alabama. I think his yards.
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young. I think he's going to be in next year's draft, right? If I'm not mistaken.
He will be.
Okay.
Him and CJ Stroud. Anyway.
Yeah, but for number 10, Jameson Williams. If not, I think we can get another wide receiver. If Garrett Wilson isn't on the still on the board, we can get him. Sauce Gardner if he drops, but I don't think he's going to drop. And then at number 4, if we don't get Kayvon Thibodeau, I think we could get like Jermaine Johnson, number 10, if he drops, which I don't know. He might not. And
we'll see.
There's just a couple options. And I think the number 1 should be either the Debo trade or the trade with the Saints. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be this draft week. It's coming down, and I think we'll start to see more movement for draft picks and trades today, tomorrow, and even on draft day. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the day today, and moving on till day 1.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So moving on to Russell Wilson, and what do you think? What do you think of him in a Broncos uni? How did he look jumping, throwing passes, handing off to Nathaniel Hackett yesterday?
Okay. Russell Wilson on the Broncos, I think he got himself in a tough situation with him being in that division, first of all. I don't know if that happened before the Devontae trade, but I think it's a good fit for him. And it kind of reminds me of the Peyton Manning situation too. Him going to the Broncos, like the Broncos like to take more experienced quarterbacks instead of younger ones, I guess. They did have Drew Lock, but they gave up on him, I think, obviously. But I think they might try to go for a championship run. We'll see. But I don't think they're going to be – I think they're going to be number 2 in the division.
That's gonna be a very, very interesting division to follow.
They're going to fight with the Raiders, I think, for the second place.
And for those of you who have not seen Russell Wilson in the Broncos uniform yet and do not know what we're talking about, here is the first look at Russell Wilson.
Well, maybe if they watch this podcast, they know sports and they know Russell Wilson. So hopefully they know he's on the Broncos already.
This is weird to see him in a Broncos uni. This is really, really weird to see.
I don't know. Maybe it was meant for him.
Yeah,
possibly. I could see him in orange.
It was very, very strange to see that. It was. I think he's gonna have like a Peyton Manning like transition with Denver, like Peyton had, winning a Super Bowl, maybe going to a couple, like something like that. I mean, it's gonna be tough in the AFC now with this amount of star power, but it's gonna be tough. But I think Russell and the Broncos are built to do it now.
Yeah, they're built. The draft. They got competition, so they got to face those people in the AFC West 2 times a year each.
Yeah.
So that's important. Those division games, very. They got to win them.
So I want to talk about Carson Wentz as a Commander for a second.
Okay.
He went to Philly. He got drafted to Philly. Things went sour. Got traded to the Colts for a 2 and a conditional second, and they blew it.
Yeah,
I think it was 2 ones, right? Was it? I know it was 1 this year because it was a conditional 2 for this year, and that turned into 1 because he played 75% of the snaps. But last year, did that cost the Colts a 2 or a 1? No, it was definitely a 2 because they drafted Kwity Paye last year. Indianapolis did.
Yeah.
So that's very costly, very costly. And Harry Roseman comes out of this looking like the GM of the year for what he got for Carson. And the Colts moving on after 1 year for what they gave up.
And we'll see what happens with the Colts. I think, Matt Ryan, I kind of see it Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan too, but hey, don't shoot the messenger here. Yeah, but I think, I don't know. I think they're going to be a little bit better than last year. I think I talked about them being like 9-8 or so. I think that was around the same record they had last year, and they just missed the playoffs. And with this new AFC, it's going to be even harder for them. So we'll see if they even make the playoffs or not with Matt Ryan. Because, I don't know. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah,
I think it might be the same team, to be honest.
Yeah, and on the other side, the Commanders, with Terry McLaurin wanting to be paid, and he's obviously a team captain and it's not holding out right now from minicamp, but he wants the money, and he's one of the receivers that are rumored to probably traded if he asks for too much.
Yeah, and he's very young too. So would you take on that contract for him?
I would.
26 years old.
I would pay Terry McLaurin $20 million a year.
2 years younger than Tyreek Hill.
Terry McLaurin is probably command around $20 million a year, maybe 18 to 20. I think he's going to get it from somebody, if not the Commanders.
That's a lot too, and I think that's if Debo were to leave, I think he would get that amount of money too.
This whole wide receiver market and these dominoes that are starting to fall right now are falling because of Jaguars paying Christian Kirk $89 million.
That's the set stone now, and now everyone wants that contract, and that's
everybody wants the money.
Very unfortunate for every other team. And
Jaguars altered the wide receiver market.
Yeah, and with Debo not wanting to play that running back role, it's going to be harder for teams to want to believe in him to take on that contract because he won't be as useful as he was on the 49ers, even though he's a really good wide receiver. He won't get the ball as much.
On another team you're talking about?
Yeah, he wants to stop playing that running back role that he played with on the 49ers. He played wide receiver and running back, and he doesn't want as many touches at running back.
It's not that he doesn't want as many touches at running back. It's just that he wants to be compensated for those touches. He had 60 carries last season, around that number, and he wants to be compensated for those extra 60 big time hits that he took, and rightfully so.
He doesn't want to get hit as much because he wants to prolong his career.
Right, and he wants to be paid if he has to take those hits. And the 49ers won't pay him for those extra hits that they want him to take.
No, I'm pretty sure he just doesn't want to be running back altogether. I think because of the hits, he just wants to prolong his career. I don't think he wants to be running back at all.
Yeah, and that's also one of the reasons. I mean, I'm sure if he goes to another team and gets paid, maybe let's say the Jets pay him maybe $28 million a year.
First of all, they're not going to pay him $27 million. They're going to pay him 25 and below. First of all,
we'll see.
I think 20 million they're going to pay him.
But I think he wants less of the running back touches, but he wants to be compensated for those extra hits that he's taking.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like being used as a running back as much as a wide receiver. I agree with you.
Yep. I think so too. And that's it might be unfortunate, but it might be better in the long term for him. He won't get injured as much.
Right. So let's talk about baseball for the first time on this show and talk about what happened at Yankee Stadium with the fans throwing garbage at the players after the game had ended.
Yeah, I think that's
at the Cleveland Guardians.
That's unclassy, unprofessional for the Yankees fans, and I can see why. I mean, they're New York fans, but I don't think they should be like that. And they're kind of looking like Philly fans right now.
They're getting that spotlight. Yeah, they're getting the bad publicity right now.
It's not good for baseball too.
Nope.
And baseball is not getting as much money as it is. Like, they're not getting the money as the other top leagues, and they need help. And with the addition of only accessing, I think, Amazon Plus, I forgot the Amazon streaming services and Apple TV. Some people don't have that, so they're not going to be able to watch those games, and it's just bad for the business, you know.
So I think one of the this shows the Yankees organization as a whole, not the fan base. The fan base separate from this for a second. The Yankees organization as a whole is blue collar, first class. Those players running out there to right field to stop the fans from throwing garbage at the Guardians outfielders after the game. And specifically Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton went out there and stopped the fans from throwing trash at players. And fans have to remember that
they're people too.
That these players are humans.
Yep.
That these players are doing what they love and entertaining you. And are like, this is supposed to be, sports are supposed to be I guess sports are supposed to be a getaway from everyday life, like this everyday world that we live in, and like all the issues that are happening in everyday life right now. Like, it's supposed to be a getaway, and these players are there to entertain you, and you can't you can't treat them like really animals in a zoo. Like these players are humans, and that's just disgusting to see.
Oh yeah, definitely, and that you could kind of see that with other leagues too, like in the NBA, but obviously they don't throw trash, but you know, they talk trash about people, and with that Kyrie Irving situation and everything, I don't know, I think it's pretty bad, but what can you do, you know?
Yeah,
people are disgusting. People are gonna do that even when they tell them to stop, you know?
Yeah,
they're gonna do it either way.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be those fans that maybe have a little bit too much to drink, and they get a little riled up, and there are fights happening in the stands at mostly every sporting event. There's fans there's fights that happen in the stands at some point. But to throw garbage at players is just like a next level, not only stupidity, but it's just disgusting. And those fans should not be allowed back in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think we should transition to the NBA playoffs because I think we're going a little too long here, and I think we need to talk about the NBA playoffs because it's very important because it's almost the end of the first round.
Yeah, and the Nets got knocked out last night to the Boston Celtics. They got swept, and Ben Simmons again was ruled out after the organization came out and said that he would be ready to play for Game 4, possibly. He was not ready to play for Game 4 after going through a workout and experiencing soreness the next day. He was ruled out for Game 4. And what confuses me about this, Joe, about this situation with Ben Simmons is if you go through a workout, right, and you get through the whole workout with, I guess, no setbacks during the workout,
then you should be ready to play, right?
you should be ready. You should be ready to play. What about Kevin Durant? What about Kyrie, Kyrie didn't eat for 12 hours for Ramadan. And he was out there playing.
He's still playing.
And all these other players that have played all season long and these games in the playoffs so far, and how sore they are. Think about that.
Yeah.
And Ben Simmons has a little soreness in his back and can't play. Like this guy, it's unbelievable and it's pathetic at this point. It's pathetic.
And don't you think about how like crazy it is that everyone was like overrating the Nets like beginning of the season? They were championship contenders.
Yeah, they were favored to win the finals in the preseason.
Yeah, look at them now. And look at the Lakers too.
Yeah, LeBron actually said that he would never miss the playoffs ever again. So that should be a wake-up call to every NBA team out there.
That should be a wake-up call for the Nets too. I think they should really pick it up because look at that star power they have on that team. If they were on the Heat, like if they were, went through the Heat culture and everything, I feel like we would be championship contenders easily.
Do you think the Nets regret the trade for Ben Simmons right now, or because I think with James Harden, the series ends up very different.
I would have, if I was a Nets fan, I would have regretted it even at the trade day.
Yeah.
Because why would you trade for Ben Simmons?
Right. I feel like with James Harden, this series ends up very differently, very, very differently.
Yeah.
And not with somebody who quit on LSU coming out of college, who quit on Philadelphia, literally quit 2 spots, goes to the Nets, and now Kevin Durant's got to hate this guy.
I think Ben Simmons thinks he's so much better than he actually is.
Definitely.
He thinks he's some superstar. He's got to prove himself.
Definitely. He needs to start acting like a professional athlete and a good teammate. And because I think the view on him in that Nets locker room right now is I played all season long. I played sore. I played this amount of minutes. I played that amount of minutes. But Ben Simmons can't. But Ben Simmons has back soreness and can't get into playoff game for. I'm sure his limits will be minute too.
And that was for
can be limited.
That was for like the team's season too. That final game, that was for the season, and he gave up on the season, basically.
I mean, I'm really curious to hear what that vibe is in the Nets locker room right now.
Yeah, no, I don't even think Ben Simmons would have made much of an impact coming into that Nets game because the Celtics are really hot right now. They're on a streak and they're just ready to win. And
I think the Celtics are for real and they're ready to do damage. Jason Tatum is really turning it up when he needs to.
Yep, and I think the Heat too have some proving to do also in that series. 3-1.
So we have the Suns and the Pelicans tonight, and I believe Devin Booker is going to be back because he missed games 3 and 4, but I'm not 100% sure. If you can check that for me.
Yeah, I'll look up in a second.
But series is tied up after the Pelicans tied it up, and this will be a very important game for the Phoenix Suns to gain control of the series again.
It says from AZ Central, Phoenix Suns All-Star Devin Booker ruled out for Tuesday's crucial Game 5 versus Pelicans.
And who reported that?
It was AZ Central. I'm pretty sure it's a Arizona news station.
That's a big blow. That's a big blow.
Yep.
He's ruled out.
Definitely. Wow. And I'm rooting for the Pelicans, to be honest, because I like to see the underdog pull it out. Not the Heat, obviously, because the Heat's my favorite team. But I think I like Brandon Ingram. I like CJ McCollum. I've always liked CJ McCollum. And when he got traded to the Pelicans, I'm like, oh, a new team, new opportunities. And look at that too. At Jose Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado. I like him. He reminds me of Patrick Beverly. And I like that team. I want them to pull it out. Although I don't think they're going to win the second round against, I think, the Warriors, right? Either that or I forgot who they would play if
I forget the bracket too. I forget the way the brackets fall.
It's either the Wolves and the Grizzlies or the Warriors game.
Okay.
So I think the Warriors are going to pull that out too.
Well, tonight, tune into that game.
Can I talk about 76ers versus Raptors for 1 second?
Go ahead.
This series is crazy. Philly had went up 3-0, obviously. Everyone knows about that.
Right.
And then the Raptors came back
3-2.
2 games. Yeah, it's 3-2 now. I'm very excited to see what happened in this series.
And that's tonight at 7, I believe.
To lose. What?
That's tonight at 7, I believe, right?
I think they played yesterday, so I don't think they're going to play today.
Okay. Oh, that game was yesterday? Okay.
Yeah, so today's games are the Hawks and the Heat at 7, then the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies at 7:30, and then the Suns and the Pelicans at 10.
Okay.
But I think it's a very
I got mixed up with the days.
Yeah. That's all right. I have it all looked up right here. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I want the 76ers to lose because they're enemies to the Heat. So
yeah.
It's
going to be interesting to see how the rest of the NBA playoffs unfold here.
Yep.
This is a very important game for the Suns because if they fall behind 3-2 to the Pelicans and they're without Devin Booker for the rest of the series, that's going to be an uphill climb to win that.
Yep, definitely. They're going to have to win, 2 games? Yeah, they're going to have to do that. That's going to be something.
So hopefully Chris Paul and Mikal Bridges can bring this team.
You think he's coming back game 6 then?
I have no idea. You hear that voice crack, by the way?
Yeah, I did hear that voice crack. I didn't know you're still going through puberty.
Yeah, my mouth is fucking dry. So
puberty. Okay. I think we have all that set out, right? And then I think we're good with that, right?
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we all have that settled. I'm excited for the 76ers series. I'm excited. Every single series in this NBA playoffs has been crazy, basically.
It's been a great NBA playoffs, I think. I'm really enjoying
that Celtics Nets series because every single game was close, basically.
Yeah.
I think there was only one game that was a blowout, but other than that, every other game was close. This whole series is crazy.
It absolutely is. Joe, any last words before we sign off here?
I don't know if you want to provide a clue to the guy who we're going to talk to on Thursday.
Oh, right. So first annual Giggy and Joe Show Draft Day Classic will feature a Super Bowl champion. And that's the only hint I'm going to give. Tune in Thursday to the show.
They're two legends to their respective team. So
very much so. Very, very much so.
Yep.
So tune in Thursday to the show. It's going to be a fun one. And thank you for joining us today.
Follow us on Instagram, Giggy and Joe Show. And we provide links to YouTube. And I know you're watching this on YouTube right now. So follow us on YouTube. Give us a like and throw a comment if you have anything that you disagree with in the podcast. Yeah, tell us what you thought about the podcast and anything that we should work on for the future. Okay, right? I think we're good. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. See you.